right, James?
How are you, John boy?
I'm very, very good, mate. Welcome to FC Bullard.
Yes.
We are around about 2 weeks away from the live show on the 16th of December. Where's it at, Jim?
Vaudeville Theatre.
That's good.
On Monday.
Yeah.
Which is, a week off Christmas.
Yeah.
There ain't a lot of tickets
timing.
left, by the way, so get out and grab them now while you can.
Well, by the time this goes out, they might have all gone. But
Right, okay.
if you give us a shout, we'll get a couple of little black market numbers.
There'll be little ones.
A couple of little,
of course there will be.
little sneakers. We've got Dyche.
Yes.
We're gonna have a chat. What we're gonna ask Dyche?
I've got loads.
We're gonna talk to him
Dyche.
about
Music.
Yeah.
Loves his
We're not
fashion,
gonna go
football. He's Premier League manager, for God's sake.
But we're not going to talk to him about. We're not going to go into like Everton season and all this and this and that.
We'd touch on it, wouldn't we? But he'd probably want to dabble on it, wouldn't he?
Probably not. No.
All right, well, it'd be good.
I think he wants to talk about.
To have a Premier League manager on the show, it's levels for me. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we got Miles Kane.
Miles Kane performing.
Miles Kane, yeah, that's levels.
A couple of songs.
Couple of free songs. 4 songs. Album. Oh,
I don't think Rob really knows if we're honest. If we're honest.
Anyway, tickets left. Jump online. If there's none left, just DM me.
Time to meet.
This is good.
Welcome another guest.
It's a big smile on my face.
To FC Bullard. Potential role for this individual. I mean, he's done a lot of things in the game.
Yeah.
Player, manager, coach, and now he is an agent.
Yeah.
A football agent. Now, I didn't know you played with him.
Yeah, I went on trial with him. He is at a club, and then he come on trial while I was at a club.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, the club was. You could intro the guest first.
Well, that's it. 'Cause the thing is, I've got a couple of good stories, but I didn't know that you knew him, and you didn't probably know that I knew him.
Great couple of one-liners.
So let's welcome to FC Bullard, Paul
Dalglish.
Daggers, how are you?
Very good, chaps. Good to see you.
I tell you what,
so good to see you. Look so fucking well, mate.
you look in nick.
Yeah. Didn't he look well?
Yeah.
Look, colour. You been away?
Sunbeds.
Oh, I love it.
Costerdale sunbed.
Well, great to see you, lad.
Yeah.
And
good to see you.
look, I just want to get cracking straight away. So when I went to Norwich, Nigel Worthington, is it Worthington?
Yeah.
He was the gaffer. Daggers was there, and I was just got released from West Ham. I went on trial, and he took me under his
What
wing.
age are you?
I was 22. I was 22-ish. Never played in a first team. Going to Norwich, I thought this could be my chance here. And took me under his wing. I had. They was really close to signing me. I was there for the longest trial.
Yeah.
It seemed like forever. I was there 3-4 weeks, and stayed with Daggers. Took me.
He stayed with you?
We had.
I was like, you're not staying in a hotel.
He
Come on,
looked right
Bulldog.
after me. We had a fetish for cinemas back then. He used to take me to cinemas. We was like lobbing chicken wings at people.
We were lobbing chicken wings.
Yeah, I remember.
No, it was the milkshake that you loved that I started getting worried about.
Oh no!
Cool as fuck to hang around with you. I absolutely loved it, and good footballer back in the day.
Oh,
as
quality.
well. And then skip forward maybe a year. I don't know. Skip forward a year. I'm at Peterborough under Barry Fry, and then walks into the changing room, doesn't he? I'm like, Daggers, what are you doing here? He says, yeah, I'm coming on trial. We play a game together, a trial game. It was in the summer. Am I right? In the summer, Barry Fry. And I always remember, I was actually in the changing room, and Baz offered him a contract or sent me and said, Paul, I really want you. You know, same old Barry story. Got no dollar, son. Got no dollar. He said, look, I can give you that. And Paul went, well, I've had to fill my motor up worth more than that. I can't afford a sign. It cost me more than that to get here. Oh, it's brilliant. I was like, But didn't sign though, did you? For the mighty Posh.
No, I think that was right about my head fell off after Norwich a little bit, and I think I like being. We got on, and I actually enjoyed. We used to go and play head tennis, didn't we, under the stand on the far side?
Absolutely.
As well. And I was thinking this might be a little chance here, and then I think it might have been. That might have been around the Blackpool time.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that would have been good because I like Barry. He was
It'd
mad,
been a
wasn't he? And he
great
liked
signing.
characters, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And he'd let you play.
Yeah,
he'd
he let you
go
play.
and
He liked characters. And I think that was kind of people said they always wanted players with personalities, but when you had one, people didn't like it.
No, exactly right, mate. I come across plenty of them. Yeah. But I mean, it would have been a great signing for me, like to have him.
Absolutely, yeah.
team, do you know what I mean?
So what's going on, mate? What's going on in your world? Where are you living now? Because I know
Living
you've been
up in
all over
Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I was in America, 17 years I was there.
17
Yeah,
years.
so I was coaching away. Last place I was in Miami.
Yeah.
So spoke to my wife. She said, I said, listen, I've got this opportunity to do the agency work. She says, that'd be good for the family, because when you play football in America, it's a summer season. So it plays through the summer. So only time you get off.
When you say Miami, what, not Beckham's club?
No, the other one. The
Right,
one,
okay.
so the USL team in the
Got
league
you.
below.
Okay.
So I said, she goes, it'll be good for you. It'll be good for you, you know, because it'll be better for the family, because we can go on holiday when we want. You can take time off when you want, because you can't do that when you're working football. Yeah. So I said, all right, there's only one problem, so I'm going to have to move back to England. She went, that's fine. So I said, better for the family. She went, yeah. Came back for a year. She's back in America. I'm on my own.
Really?
So, yeah, she said, it's definitely better for the family. You're not being there.
So you're here and she's over there, yeah?
Yeah.
How long's that been like that for?
About 3 months.
Is that not straining a relationship? Digging in a bit
it's
deeper?
tough, mate.
Is it?
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
I bet it is.
She's never been happier, but it's tough for me. I wouldn't mind. She took the kids, the dogs, everything.
No, of course,
the TV.
mate. Not the dog.
Yeah.
You can have the kids, not the dog.
So tell us about the agency. Tap 23.
Yeah.
Why is it called Tap 23?
23 is a bit of a... So we don't want to just do football. I've partnered with my mate from school, Ben Mawson, who founded Tap Music. So he's kind of been... He was kind of from started working with Lana Del Rey before she was known, and then Dua Lipa as well.
Okay.
Worked with her. So he's taken kind of... Everyone's a human being. So he's taken human beings, if you like, from unknown to global superstars, and the journey that you go on to do that. And then from my perspective, I've got my pro license. So actually as an agent, being able to sit down with the player after a game and go, here's where you can improve, independent advice from the club. Yeah. So to try and create a full service agency, that's what we've tried to do, but it takes time. So we've just, we're going to do more than football. So we thought 23 was a quite generic sport name.
Okay.
So we thought, well, but to recognise what Ben's done, we used the name Tap, and then we thought, well, we need a sports reference, so we just thought 23 had a little ring to it. So, there's a few, and then also we're going to go into. So we're doing a documentary. So it's been announced now. We're doing my dad's documentary.
I saw that,
Wikipedia, which is going to be.
Have you started filming?
Yeah. So we've started that, and that'll be out next year. And then we've just gone into kind of TV as well. So we've signed Kelly as well.
Right, okay. What's that going to be on, like Netflix or something?
Amazon.
Oh, right, okay, got you.
And they announced it was that. So that's the type of thing we want to do. But we want to do other sports as well.
Okay.
Because I think that, although I've got a football background, I think in football you probably need more of a, it helps to have that kind of football.
Yeah.
But I think in all kind of industries, it's managing a person.
Yeah, definitely. How does talking about the agency then, and being a different agency, I'd say like a new era agency, what does your week evolve? Talk me through your week. Well, and does it change a lot, or? Yeah,
it does. You've got to be able to adapt, because even, you can have plans to go and watch someone. Yeah. And then they get the team news the day before the game and they're not playing. Yeah. And then you might have to go and watch. You might decide to go and watch someone else. Yes. So it's like you've got to be able to adapt. But normally we get, the schedules come out. You plan what games you're going to go to during the week. Because I think my thing is I remember meeting with a player, and I was meeting with people around them as well, and they said, "Oh, we're deciding between you and someone else." I said, "Oh, brilliant." He said, "Oh, I really appreciate you being at the game." I said, "Oh, well, how many games has the other person been at?" Yeah. "Oh no, he's never been, but he trusts people's opinions." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I believe that you've got to be at games.
Yeah, of course. You've got to see it firsthand, right?
I'm going to 4, 5, 6 games a week. And just trying to watch as much football as possible.
And how many players do you look after?
At the moment, I've signed, just to me personally, 3 at this moment in time.
And your whole agency, when you say it's just not football, is it all other?
Well, we're going to go in that direction.
Oh, right, okay.
But my thing is, we also don't want to be big. I don't think I can do my job properly and give it the attention it needs if you've got too many players. Yeah. So every player that I bring in, I want to be a priority.
That's interesting, yeah. That's really
interesting.
Because
to be honest with you, you can't, if you're going to do it right.
You can't do it how you want to do it.
No, you can't watch. If you've got 25 players, you can watch their games every week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How
Absolutely.
many games are you going to be at if you've got 25?
You can't do
And
it.
then players are going, well, hang on, you're going to watch him, but you're not coming to watch me. And,
Well, that's it. So I think it's about. For us.
Yeah.
I can't do it right with too many players.
What would you say numbers wise then? 6, 7, 8?
It depends how good they are.
Yeah.
You know, I think I think I'm set up to look after, and the company's set up. If you think what we've done, or what Ben's done, sorry, in music. If you think that we've got the commercial team behind us, you know, I've got my pro license in football. We're set up to look after elite players and make them a priority. So I'd rather have a handful of top players.
Yeah,
you know, and I actually quite, because I come from a youth development background as well, I love the idea of getting a top kind of 17, 18-year-old and going on a journey with them.
Yeah, getting close
love
to
that.
them. Yeah.
I'd love that.
And you mentioned it a moment ago. You've got one of you've got the top presenters.
Kelly,
Your sister.
the bit of nepotism, never heard anyone.
Well, I'm just wondering, does that put a little bit more pressure on you, to deliver the goods?
Yeah, I mean, I've just, she's
good at what
she's at the top of her game, and
Yeah.
she really is. I mean, I think when you watch Kelly, and I know biased because I'm the brother, but when you see she's dealing with big personalities, big opinionated personalities.
I was thinking it the other day.
And she controls them.
Can you hold your own in the conversation?
She controls them.
Absolutely.
And
And some, yeah.
Yeah, and they seem, and listen, but they seem to respect
Yeah.
her
Absolutely.
as well.
No, you're dead
You know what
right.
I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that she really is about as good as there is out there at what she does at the moment.
Absolutely. And she's so calm. She's so measured.
Yeah.
She's so intelligent as well, Fenners. I know it's must, but she is. People don't understand how intelligent
She's always been
she
like
is.
that.
Yeah, she was annoying. You know what? You know when you grow up, she's only a year above me in school.
Yeah.
Oh, like I'm coming back with my report card. She's coming back with hers.
Like,
She
getting
didn't
killed.
even have to try.
Really?
Oh, Kelly got accepted to Cambridge.
Wow.
Yeah, and she went, not going. She went, I don't want to go there. I want to go to
Really?
Glasgow. She went to Glasgow
Amazing.
Uni.
Yeah.
And then she got offered the job at Sky, on Sky Sports News, before she'd finished university.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you know the first ever
Yeah.
time I presented on telly was with Kelly?
Right, that's
It was
mad, that.
there was a show on ESPN called Talk of the Terrace.
I remember that.
So she used to do it with Chappers.
Yeah.
Chappers couldn't do it one week, so they said,
Get in
I was
there.
doing some interviews from them. They said, do you want to do it? I was petrified.
Was she good?
Ah,
Really?
just amazing.
That's
She was
unbelievable.
brilliant. She was going, oh, you're doing really well, you're doing really well. And I was like,
Catch your bubbly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started out playing, obviously, King Kenny is your father, my hero. I'm assuming you went to him for a lot of advice. Did you have an agent as well?
I didn't until I was up for my new contract
Okay,
at Newcastle.
right.
And you talk about, I'm allowed to tell funny stories. So when I got married,
Please do.
right? When I
Please
got
do.
married,
Please do.
Well,
Andy
We're-
Dalglish.
I hope it's funny now. I've said funny stories. I'm under pressure here. Oh, so when
What a legend.
so
I'm
you
not
know,
allowed to tell funny stories.
so I was at my wedding, so I'm getting married, and you're like, because me and my dad have had that relationship that most dads do, where it's like old school Scottish, and it's always been like, when I was younger, it was always about, he'd tell me, you'd do well, and then the car journey home, you'd be tortured. The whole car journey home. You'd be like, your mum would go, your dad said you did well. She just hammered me in the car for the last 10 minutes in the car home. So that was his kind of way of doing things. So at the wedding, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to say something nice about my dad, right, and my mum. So I went, I said, I've done this in my career. I was quite lucky to do this. And I said that, I've been so lucky to have such a good mum and dad and a stable mum and dad. And I said, if I'd listened to my dad a little bit more during my career, maybe I'd have achieved a bit more. And he shouted at the wedding, you did listen to me, son. I always told you were shite.
Did he?
I swear to God, I swear to God, right? I
Did he
swear to God
really?
at the wedding. And that was it then. I was like, oh, he's fucking killed me.
He's buried you.
Oh, killed
You
me.
wedded as well.
Absolutely ruined me in
What a
front of
legend.
everyone. Brilliant.
What a
But
legend.
that's on video
Oh,
as well, is it somewhere?
It will be somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hidden
yeah.
away with
so
lock
funny.
and key.
Oh, it was brilliant. Yeah, so Yeah.
But what a great person to turn for advice,
Oh,
though,
wow.
your old
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
On a serious note,
Yeah.
when you was growing up through the game, to have him as a dad.
And he he loves it as well. Like even now, he's in the ambassador role for Liverpool, and he loves going to the academy and just seeing a young player for the first time, and he loves that.
Oh, it's lovely.
That's and he's always been, even when he was managing, he always tried to give young players a chance. He believes that that's how a football club should be. If you remember, John Flanagan gave him his debut. You know, Jack Robinson, when he was at Liverpool, gave them the debut. Played Jay Spearing in big games.
Yes.
He loves He loves trusting young players and giving them a chance.
And I don't want to make it about your dad, but I'm just touching him because it's about you. Do you remember watching him when you grew up? What was that like?
I remember, do you know, one of my first memories of football was when he got his face smashed by Kevin Moran against Man United. And I remember being at the game with my mum, and I remember him going down. And then someone actually came up to get my mum and said, "This is bad."
Right.
Do you know what I mean? She had to go to hospital. She said, "You better leave."
Yeah.
And that was one of my earliest memories. But it's more really as a manager that I remember more, because I was quite young when he was playing.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff as a manager, I remember the weirdest one was a Liverpool fan my whole life. He's brought me up to be a Liverpool fan. And I remember it was when he'd gone to Newcastle.
Yeah.
And it was the second 4-3 game, I think, at Anfield. I think my dad was the manager in that. Or it was a game anyway. It was Liverpool-Newcastle. I remember sitting there going, I want my dad to win. But I want Liverpool to win.
Really?
And it was like,
cool.
it was weird. Yeah, it was weird, mate. I just remember walking out the stadium and going, I don't know how to feel.
Really?
Yeah, it was like...
That is weird.
Yeah, it was weird, yeah.
You get to Anfield much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, love it. One of the things that I missed the most being in America was getting to go to the game. Yeah. And even more so, getting to go to the game with my dad.
Yeah.
So like, one thing that I never got to do really as a kid, which is what a lot of people like in football grow up doing, is going to game with the dad.
Yeah.
Loving that moment, going to game with the dad, that building that relationship. My dad was always working.
Yeah, cool.
So I would go to the game. So now, I savour every minute I can get.
But can I just say though, it's great going with your dad, but your dad's fucking the king.
Yeah.
How nice is it going through there with the king? Like,
do you know, it's brilliant, but it's still.
I know he's your dad.
Yeah.
I get that, but what he's done at that football club.
I get, and that's great. But the one thing, and I don't want to sound, I'm not trying to sound funny or like sarcastic, but I've never had another dad. Do you know when people say, "What's it like? Your dad's this." It's like that. Yeah. I've not had another one. So I'm like, fucking hell, it's just normal. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What's normal? Yeah, Normal's only normal if it's normal to you.
That's brilliant.
Jurgen Klopp did an incredible job, and Arne Slot he's just kind of
slotted
coming in, and he's absolutely slotted in, Bully. Go on then. All right, lovely.
Pathetic.
As someone who understands football a lot better than me, what changes do you see that he's made? Not that he needs to make changes, but what changes do you see that he's made to the way that Liverpool play?
I think the best thing he's done is he's not changed too much.
Right.
I think Jurgen made it easy for him in the last game of the season when he got on the pitch at the end of the pitch and he started singing Arne Slot's name.
Yeah.
And you're like, so I think what that did was that allowed Arne Slot to come in without an ego, really, to try and have to change things too much. Yeah. And I think that when you see, if you're replacing, I think when a manager comes in and something's all right, then don't try and change it too quickly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think what he's done is he's come in, yes, he's put his own stamp on it, but he's never, I think one of the things that he's done is he's never gone, since I've been here, I hate it when the managers come in and they basically, the ego only allows them to talk about since I've been here. But the players were there years before you were there and they were doing all right. So I think the beauty for me is, and it's funny, the younger generation, when you hear them talk, I was speaking to a few of the lads, we go to the game and then we speak about it afterwards, but some of the younger generation are like, well, when Paisley followed Shankly, he was more successful, but he wasn't as big a personality.
Right.
You know, and I think
similarities
Klopp's
there.
A big personality. Arne Slot's come in, and I've got to be honest, it was weird the first game, because we win, first game at Anfield, you're looking down the technical area, and it's weird that Jurgen's not there because you've been so used to him. But the weirdest bit was the final whistle. When you're used to the manager going up, fist pumping the cup, and then everyone going mad. And then he just turned around and walked in.
But I thought that was brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant because he never tried to be Jurgen. He's been himself. He's changed what he's needed to change. Like, he's put his own stamp on it. It's a little bit more of a 4-2-3-1, though it's a bit flexible than the 4-3-3. So he has changed a little bit. Yeah. But he's just been, we talked about control earlier, he's just been really, really efficient in what he's done.
So you can see a slight change, but
little bit,
okay.
Yeah, a little bit. But the one thing I would say is, managers suit, and I love Jurgen, right?
Yes.
What he did for Liverpool, I love him. But some players will be more suited to Arne Slot's style.
Yeah,
and I think you see like a Gravenberch, he's been outstanding.
He's been
maybe he suits him a little bit better.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No,
there's some players that, like, doesn't matter how good the previous manager was, the new manager that's come in will be better for some.
Maybe soon people will start talking about Liverpool maybe winning the league. The fact that how many points clear?
I didn't see it before the season,
no.
did you? But now,
I always felt it's a bit odd, like not having Liverpool in that conversation.
Yeah,
you're talking about, we do that, don't we? We do that.
Yeah, but who didn't put Liverpool in the conversation? I think a lot.
Well, I'll put my hands up. I was looking at Arsenal, the way they played last season. I was looking at Man City. And I was thinking, it's just hard to ever look past Man City. But I think Rodri getting injured's a leveller.
Yes.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's quality.
I do think Liverpool...
The thing is as well, I think, with say, Arsenal, there's this belief that, and quite right to have the belief that they're going to do it, but because you're getting closer, you get closer, you get closer. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make that next step. It's like with England, we got to we get to the semis, you get to the final. We can't go to the next tournament and go, well, we now expect to go and win it because it's like everyone can't win. Everyone can't win. But I just feel it's a bit odd that Liverpool are top of the league, playing so well, and still people aren't going, Liverpool are favourites for the Premier League.
Yeah, well, they signed and it was even late in the summer. They've changed everything. Richard Hughes has come in as well. Everyone was saying, you need to buy these players. They went, well, they only signed Chiesa, kind of on a knockdown price, really. Yeah. He's been injured, so hasn't really contributed that much. So it's all kind of last year's players that are doing it as well. And the longer it goes on and they stay this many points clear, then got to be taken seriously. Yeah. And I think probably it suited them at the beginning. All the eyes and the pressure not being on them.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd be
I think
quite
it was a nice time for him to come in like that. A little bit under the radar. FC Bullard is brought to you by Lost Lager.
Lost Lager. I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Whoa. It's the perfect pint for the perfect pod. Christmas round the corner, John Boy. It's a time for socialising, isn't it? Paint me a picture of your ideal pint during the holidays.
Well, obviously, it's Lost Lager.
Obviously.
Bet you've had some mad Christmas deals, haven't you, Jimmy, any time?
Absolutely, but we're saving stories for another time, eh?
Yeah. Do you know what I love, though, Bully? I love the build-up to Christmas, where everybody's out and they're all having a good time and they're dressed up in their silly jumpers and the daft hats, and everyone's just in a good mood.
Do you know where'd be perfect for anyone organising a Christmas do? Brewdog Bar.
Great shout, Bully. Whether it's long overdue catch-ups with your mates or that Christmas party that eventually turns into chaos, book your festive celebration today and they'll take care of the rest.
With bars and pubs located up and down the country, there's a Brewdog near you with unbelievable food menus for a great Christmas night out.
You can even pre-order your beer, wine and Prosecco so it's ready and waiting for you before you arrive. And you know what that includes?
Lost Lager?
Brewdog's quality lager.
Lost Lager and FC Bullard. You could say...
the perfect pint for the perfect pod. Get in there.
Go to brewdog.com/FC-Bullard for a special offer on Lost Lager.
And you played for the Badgers, didn't you? The Soccer M team.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
How did he get a game for the Badgers? What was the script there?
Oh, no, I retired for a few years, didn't I? And I was doing interviews for Soccer AM.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
What do you mean you was doing
Mate, my head fell off, didn't it? After Norwich, it went like that. So my head fell off. I was like, when people talk about anxiety and depression and all these things now, it didn't exist then.
Yeah.
You were just...
Do you think you went through a little bit of that?
Mate, it was horrible, yeah.
Really?
I think it was after Newcastle. When you... I thought I had the world at my feet at Newcastle. And I was like playing in the Premier League. And, when that was, I remember my dad, and you're talking about listening to my dad. I was off the new 5-year contract at Newcastle, and my dad said, sign the contract. And I said, Dad, no, I've got to get out. Said, the manager has told me he's never going to play me. I said, I need to get out. He says, no, sign the contract. You'll be there longer than him. And I said, no, I've got to get out. And that's when I'd got the agent to get the contract. So my dad said, sign it. So anyway, I'd gone on loan to Norwich and just enjoyed playing football again.
Yeah.
And then scored on my debut against West Brom. Second game of the season, Hullett gets fired at Newcastle. And I'm in Norwich, miles away from home.
No.
I bought, like, you were in the house. I bought this house with just me in it. And I'm going, what am I doing here?
Really?
And then I just went like that. I just went downhill. And then it was never really got back on track until I stopped for 2 years and then started playing again. But when I stopped for 2 years, I started doing some stuff with you, Fenners, didn't I, with Soccer, some interviews.
What was it, though? Interviews?
No, just I went and interviewed Michael Owen when he was at Real Madrid.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, did O'Shea Given, Souness, did a few. And so they'd obviously written the intro. It goes, one of the biggest names in football. Unfortunately, it's Paul, not Kenny.
Brilliant. That's so class.
Yeah.
I got to look them up.
Yeah.
What did you go out and source? Did you go out and get?
Do you know what? I remember. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember who you went and interviewed.
And then I stopped because I actually started
playing again.
I started playing again. Yeah, and that was a mad one because I was at Aintree Racecourse and I was blitzed and I'd put weight on, and so Shearer was there with Mike Newell, and Mike Newell had just been promoted with Luton to the Championship. So I used to go in and train when I was a kid at Blackburn when Mike Newell was there and Shearer was there, and obviously I played with Alan at Newcastle. And you know when people say things and it hurts, right? So I'm sat there, and I'm sitting having a drink, just having a laugh like this, and Shearer just puts his beer down and goes, "You're a fucking disgrace." And I went, "What?" He goes, "Look at the state of you." He goes, "You were a good player." He says, "Look at the state you now." He says, "You are a fucking waste, you are."
Wow.
And I went,
Put it on you.
That hurt. But Mike Newell said to me, he said, "I tell you what, if you get yourself fit again," he says, "I'll give you another chance." And that's how I came back playing. So I put my beer down, went home, went running, got myself fit, phoned Mike Newell up and said, "Mike, listen, I want to take you up on your offer." And that was when I started playing again.
So really, they didn't even as a kick up the arse for me.
It was amazing. It was the best thing that anyone could have said.
Wow.
You know, and there was maybe only a handful of people that could have said it. That would have had that impact.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't someone like that, I'd have just
yeah.
gone, fuck off.
Back off your market.
Yeah. I'm delighted.
Big out.
Yeah.
You can't. You've
No,
got to have to
a
wear
legend.
it.
And what a great guy.
Yeah.
So I was, so that was, but that was in the 2 years, I think. I never played for 2 years.
You know, you've got this agency, so you're going to have players who are struggling with mental health, things like that. You know, when you had periods when you were struggling, was there anyone that you could go and talk to within football, or was it just within your family, or did you just not talk about that stuff at all?
You didn't. Well, then you didn't do it. You know what I mean? You just didn't. I mean, I didn't anyway. It wasn't part. And what you do is you deflect. So like I was going to London every weekend, going out drinking or going out, looking forward to the weekend to go out. One night out during the week, one night out of the weekend, and just trying to deflect really. You know what I mean? Hide away from it all. And then to be fair, the only person that you really, if you're in denial, the only person you're really punishing is yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to make that about it. No, I'm happy that I went through
course,
kind of that thing, because now I feel that, I think I'm in a better position now doing what I'm doing. It made me a better manager. It made me a better, because you've got empathy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can actually think, wonder what he's actually thinking or how he's feeling. And normally when someone's not playing well, it's something that's going on at home.
Yeah.
You know, or outside of football. A lot of times it's not football.
Talk to us a little bit about management.
Yeah.
You know, tell us about your first kind of game in the technical area. Do you remember it? How was it?
Yeah. I remember. So I'd just finished playing.
What was it for?
My first manager's job, Tampa. So they're now called the Rowdies, but it was a bit rushed.
Right.
So they thought they'd bought the naming rights for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, but they hadn't. So it was going to be launched as the Rowdies, but it was ended up being launched as FC Tampa Bay because they hadn't actually
done it
right correctly. Yeah. So they were so late to the party, they were rushing to get a coach. And I remember I was 32 and I went, you know, I'm just going to apply for it because I just finished playing in MLS. And I thought, you know, you see it now where players, when they just finish playing, they get jobs when they're probably the worst managers they're ever going to be. But they get it because of the reputation as a player. I think it was Arigasaki said, didn't he? I didn't realise that to be a good jockey, you had to be a horse first.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. So, and it's true. And what I remember, I went through the interview report and I did this. I got some help, right? But I did this PowerPoint presentation, like PD. It was great.
Was it good?
Right. And I sat down, laptop, boom.
Smashed it.
Oh, mate, just absolutely winged it, right? They gave me the job. And I'm
Did you not expect it?
Oh, no.
Nowhere near it?
No. And now I've gone, oh, shit, how do I do this? Right?
Yeah.
So I was like...
That's mad, isn't it?
Mad, but I knew how to have a relationship with the players and I knew how to speak to the players. But there's so much to management that you don't really appreciate until you actually get put in the hot seat. So I lasted a year. And at the end of the year, I went, oh, I've got so much to learn here. Really? I'm going to go back and get comfortable with how I verbalise my information. And I went and coached kids. And I went and I was taking 3 kids teams, you know, a week. So I was doing, you know, taking 3 teams during a week and then 3 games at the weekend. And I just got really comfortable. And then wanted to, because I didn't even have all my badges.
Did you not, where was you with your badges at that point?
Oh, I think I'm a B licence.
Right, okay.
And I was like, well, what I want to do now, I said, it was brilliant that I went there and struggled because it made me go back and go, right, there's so much more I need to learn. And then I went on a little bit of a journey, just trying to learn as much as I could.
How old was you when you was going through that management?
I think on my first job at 32.
You was quite young.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of managing, would you say?
Do you know what? It's keeping the players happy that aren't playing. Because there's no way you can do it.
No.
And the only way that you can keep... The players can't complain if you're winning.
No.
You know, so if the team's winning and the 11's winning,
yep,
then the people on the periphery can't complain, really, because the team's winning. But the minute you start having results, it's like, okay, how do you keep them happy?
Yeah.
And I think that the hardest bit of mine is definitely keeping everybody in the squad motivated, keeping them happy and keeping them all kind of going in the same direction. Because you train to play, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's the hardest, I would say.
Yeah.
And talking about your agency now, you must really cruise it then, because you're managing a team, but now you're managing individuals, right?
Yeah.
How's that?
I miss coaching. I do. I miss the management side. I love the stress. I love the pressure. I love the problem solving. I love being judged every week.
Yeah.
You know, I love the structure of my life where you get up at 9 or whatever time in the morning. You've got to be there by 9. If you don't there, you get fined. I love the structure, and I think a lot of footballers go through like real trouble when they lose the structure to their daily life. You know, when they've got to start planning their own schedule because they've been used to it for so long. So I think going into to now making your own schedule every day, and then actually, you know, just trying to manage individuals, because you've got to be really careful, because you might see something in a game when you're an agent with a football background and a pro license background that might be contradictory to what the club's told them.
Saying. Absolutely.
So you've got to be really careful.
Yeah.
So I think that
you've almost got to understand what the gaffer's been asking of your player.
And I think that's the future, right? I think that's the future for me, is agents working with the clubs, not against the clubs.
That's it, because for so long they've been at the polar opposites, aren't they? Like people in football generally, you know, he's like agents, you know, it's like they're this, they're that, they're sharks, they're not, you know, they're not the sort of people who you want around football. But what you're saying is that role is completely changing now.
Yeah, but you know what's different? Do you know what's mad about that? People say people in football are agents are parasites and that they're stealing out the game. The amount of commission that agent gets in football is less than any other industry in the entertainment world. Right. So if an agent gets 5%, which is the standard 5% of play and 20% of commercial, if you do if you're in broadcasting, if you're in TV, it's 20%.
Yeah.
If you're a recruitment agency and you go out and hire someone, it's sometimes more than 20% of the first year wages. But because of the amount of money in football and because people are so passionate about football, agents actually take less money in football than other industries, but get a much harder time.
Yeah.
recruitment agencies take more money out of the NHS.
Less percentage, you're saying?
Yeah,
not
less
money, 'cause
percentage,
the money's
yeah.
high end.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You talked about you enjoy the pressure.
Yeah.
So I used to ask a lot of managers this: the 90 minutes
Yeah.
in there. Did you like? Because a lot of managers I spoke to, they're like, they didn't enjoy that part of it. You know, they didn't enjoy the 90 minutes. They wanted it to be done, and they wanted the relief, and they wanted to be able to move on. Did you sort of enjoy that, or did you endure it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved the problem solving. I loved seeing, like, watching the other manager as well and thinking, what's he going to do? Because some managers, like, you know, you're going to, sometimes you overestimate tactically what a manager does.
Yeah.
You know, like, you go and you watch a game and you're going, oh, well, he's going to do. Sometimes managers don't really have many tactics.
No.
They just go in, try and get players in the right frame of mind. And try and get them going. But I used to love the problem solving. If a manager made a change or...
How are you going to fix it?
Yeah, how am I going to fix it? And then trying to... You know, what I did as well, I had like... Because, you know, when you're under pressure, when you're under stress, it's sometimes difficult to make good decisions, you know, or it's harder to make good decisions. So what I kind of did was I'd created this kind of document. I never took it out, but I create this document. If I'm playing in this formation and somebody does this,
Got you.
what situation, what outcome could make this successful for us?
Yeah.
You know, so I'd kind of...
She had all different strategies for different formations.
Yeah, and then and the way I tried to play was we tried to always try and evolve to the opposition. So it was like, I don't want to sound stupid, right? But you know, Bruce Lee, like water, be like water.
Yeah.
So like if someone plays with two strikers, then you need three people in the first line to build up.
Yeah.
If someone plays with one striker, then you only need two. Otherwise, you've got, so it's like, how can you create a way of playing that adapts based on the opposition or what they
that's how I
give
see
you?
it, yeah.
To
Bit of
always
chess
create over
almost.
those. Yeah, or just being able to adapt.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Yeah, that was, but I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, I miss it.
Me and Jim speak a lot about when Jim was at Leatherhead. We were talking about it earlier about how he played and how he wanted to play that this expansive way, you know, and there was a bit of resistance to that because of the, you know, no disrespect to the players, but the level that they were playing at. But Jim got them going, and are you like, this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to sort of stick to the way we want to play.
I think you've got to take into consideration who you're working with always, and I think that, you know, I actually think one of the worst. This is going to sound so bad. This is a soundbite in it. I actually think that, and if you let me explain, it might not be as stupid as it sounds, but I actually think Pep Guardiola might have hurt football in the big picture.
Leave it, Jim.
I think I know. But I think I know.
Yeah.
More than what he helped, because people tried to copy him that weren't capable, that didn't know the detail that went into it.
Right.
So people watched it on the telly, thought they understood how to do it, then tried to get their team to do it on a Saturday without the detail.
Yeah.
And the key to Guardiola, the key is in the detail. He'll, like, even the passing drills are based around the system of play. You know, the passing drills that are set up, what foot you receive it with, what angle your body has to be in. It's all basically little microcosms of the 11v11 that he then puts into little things and then and then puts that together and gets the big picture, which is the game, the 11v11. And people don't know the detail.
Absolutely.
And I think that you see so many teams now. I go and watch so many academy games, and every team's trying to build from the back.
Yeah.
Every team's trying to build from the back. Every team's splitting the centre backs wide. And I'm like, well, okay. Well, what happens if you don't make it at Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool? And with all due respect, you're playing Peterborough or wherever, you know what I mean, or Blackpool or wherever, and you're not allowed to play like that.
That's what Big Sam says.
Yeah.
Big Sam's like, not every team can play like that. He's a big believer.
A lot of teams are trying to play that way. Are they like, and not just Premier League teams, but, you know,
all through the divisions.
All
now.
through the divisions.
Yeah. When I was at Leatherhead, I was like, play, and I play from the back and split the two centre halves and real aggressive in that. But I do still question myself. Would I have got more results if I went more direct? If I played more percentages in that half? If I went free aggressive up top, played longer ball? I still do question myself. Would my results have been better? But I wouldn't have got the buzz out of the game.
No.
Let me ask you another question, right? Because I think you and I are quite similar. So we love football.
Yeah.
Right. So we love football. Like, even after training finished, me and him are going, whenever we were together, we'd go and play head tennis or we'd go and do whatever, just didn't want to go home. But we both had a sense of humour. Now, do you think that you're punished now wanting to go into coaching because of your personality? And because at the end of the day, I like to have a laugh, but I'm not a fool.
No.
That was the question I always asked myself. And after our last one with Stevie Salis, I always say if for me to get back in football now with the direction I took my life, I always say it's going to take a strong board and chairman to invite Jimmy Bullard in, this joker clown, who's you think, to manage their football club. But I've got a side to me which I hope that this doesn't take away from. I wouldn't have achieved in football, and I've still got that side to me. But you're also intelligent, Jimmy. Well, football savvy, absolutely, and I've got so much to give, and I feel like the more I talk about football and more FC Bullard, I sat on this sofa and we talk about football, it brings out of me what I want to do, and I know I've got so much to give, and so I just miss it like that.
Yeah. I've said it, and I say it a lot on the pod, that people see, people have an impression of you. People have got an impression of me, like, oh, he used to dress up and do the daft stuff and all that, you know. So he could never be a serious presenter. I was like, well, I probably couldn't. No, probably right. Actually, no, you're right. Yeah, fair play. No, fair play. But
sorry, I always have to fuck about. I'm so
We're having a moment there.
No, but it's you know, with Jimmy, like, oh, he's crack, isn't he, Jim? You know, he's always mucking around. Yeah, but that's just the side of him. You know, there's he's multifaceted. You know, there's all these. His level of football knowledge is amazing. Yeah. I was just going to come back to you then. So, you know, I sense that by you asking that question, you maybe feel that, you know, you were maybe tarred with that same brush a little bit. Yeah,
I think definitely in England.
Yeah,
I think in America it was a little bit different. So
was it lost a bit?
No, I went there when I was older.
So
you know,
so
well, you know, I was, when I moved to America, I was 28.
Cannon, yeah?
Well, yeah, we were young, but people don't realize, people don't give you, you know, the respect that you might actually grow up at some point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you get married, you have kids, you grow up. But I think because of what we were like, Jimmy, when we were younger in football, people think you're like that till
all the time. I know. I've changed. I've changed a lot. I've slowed down a little. Let me ask you the question then. I think it's a good question for me to ask you. Do you think then I could manage after all my career and after all my what do you call it?
Shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans. Do you think I could manage?
Yeah, absolutely.
Confidence. Do you think I'd get an opportunity? Honestly, talk to me, not as a friend. Tell me honestly.
Oh, listen. Do I think it'd be hard for someone to give you a job?
Yeah.
I think it would be hard for someone to. But I think you could do it 100%. And I think if you look at most of the managers now, they have high emotional intelligence. And to be funny, Jimmy, and to read a room in a dressing room, you've got to have high emotional intelligence. Yeah. You know when you've pushed it too far.
Yeah, 100%. This episode of FC Bullard is brought to you by Sky Bet.
That's right, Bully. And just like here at FC Bullard, Sky Bet is for the fans, which brings us on to this week's Sky Bet fan view question. Are you ready, Bully?
What we got?
He's rubbing his hands. That's how excited he is.
Go on.
Okay. This week's Sky Bet fan view question is as follows. Who would you rather play for your team? Bukayo Saka or Cole Palmer? So I'm asking you that, Jimmy, and I'm assuming that your team is West Ham United.
Imagine Cole Palmer floating in from the sides, doing bits. But then imagine Saka and Bowen on the other side.
You can't have them both, Jim.
Do you know what? I'm going to go Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
I just like his style of play better. I relate to it.
Yeah.
Me as a player and a fan. But look, either or, I take both of them in West Ham, right?
Yeah.
But Cole Palmer, it'd be mustard, wouldn't it? I'd love to have him.
Do you know what I love about him?
Go on.
His passing
is
fantastic. The weight of pass. When you're watching a game, so there's two things here. The weight of pass is he clobbers everything.
Yes. I was going to say that, and where it's played as well.
He clobbers it, but
even his long passes are like threaded on the floor, perfect. It's weird, isn't it?
But
is there a better pass than him than like that? Is the only one I can imagine is Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah,
play them sort of passes.
Do you know what I mean by clobbering them? Like, sort of, they're like really meaty and they get there really sharp. There's no like dribbling and players having to wait. It's like, bang, you're having that. get it out of your feet.
'Cause
It's
his
like
stature-
Gerrard sort of passing.
Mate, 100%. Because his stature doesn't say he should pass like that,
No.
does it? He's like a little tricky, dainty player.
Yeah.
And I tell you what else he's got. Before he plays that pass, he's getting on the half turn.
Yeah.
The amount he just lets it roll across his body, and just his awareness of space is through the roof good. Like, ridiculous. But no, it'd be class. And I love watching them both, but
Yeah.
Cole Palmer's, I don't know, just... Saka's a winger, isn't he? Cole Palmer's what I call a drifter. He comes inside a lot more, plays like a centre midfield role.
Yeah.
A bit more involved, but I love watching them.
Bit more of the bully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spatial awareness and passes. And he scores plenty of goals, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Can't stop scoring
Yeah,
goals.
unbelievable.
Cheers, Jim. That was this week's Sky Bet Fan View. Sky Bet is for the fans. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. And as always, remember, please gamble responsibly.
I just want to take it back. How important is it now, players, your line of work, that you know, brand association.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these players with Nike now. You see a lot of them with fashion, like Gucci's. Do you think that's important, that they're brand off the pitch that you work with?
Well, 100%. And there's a...
Like, look at Bex. Bex was the first one who put that on the map, really.
It's managed by a music manager, Simon Fuller.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When he married Victoria, he started getting managed by a music manager.
I played that right into your lap there, innit?
Well, no, I'm not
Without
saying...
even
No,
trying
I'm just saying... But basically, I think that what's happened now in football is you're starting to see now... So the football world's changed in the last 15 years, let's say. Where when we were playing, Jimmy, and when we were younger, if you wanted football information, it was 442 magazine, it was Shoot, it was Match, and everything was there. If it was music, you had NME. Fashion, you had the fashion magazines and all these different Nuts and Zoo and FHM and all these magazines. But everything was kind of segregated. Everything was kind of put in one place. What's happened with social media now is everything's now intertwined. So you get a music post, depending on who you follow, you get a music post, sports post, fashion post, comedy, everything's intertwined. So unless you've got management that understands how to diversify your industry, then you're only ever getting a small amount of your potential.
Yeah.
So I think that what you're seeing now in the agency world is you're seeing Gucci signing Jack Grealish. They would never sign Jack Grealish 15 years ago.
Right.
You know, as a brand ambassador.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so rare to see footballers. Footballers were classed as a bit tacky.
Yeah.
You know, by music people, by fashion people. The only things that really footballers did was underwear adverts. So David James did underwear, didn't he?
Yeah.
Beckham did a bit of underwear. But what's happened now is
Bullard.
because Jimmy Bulldog.
Imagine me with McKegg. What's happening?
but basically, what's happened now is that. So now, Cristiano Ronaldo's the most followed man on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you look at it and you go, footballers are such a high profile, but the management hasn't really adapted. You know, if you look at a Roger Federer, the brand he's created, Tiger Woods, it hasn't happened in football yet, really, with the exception of maybe Beckham. With all due respect to Ronaldo, greatest player, or him and Messi, two greatest players really around. If you look at it, you know, if you look at like what a Rihanna's done, or you look at like what a Federer's done, you know, with the On Cloud brand, he's probably made more money from On brand than what he has from tennis.
Right.
Absolutely.
On Cloud, sorry.
Yeah.
And you look and you go, well, footballers haven't really done that yet. And I think it's because the agencies haven't really evolved yet to keep up with what what we say is footballers have changed.
Yeah.
Management hasn't.
Right. Okay. Until now.
Well, but we've not done it yet, Fenners. You know, I say we're the best football agency no one's heard of yet. You know, because at the end of the day, you've got to prove it, though. You know, we can have a concept, but until you do it, you know, so you need someone needs to believe in you. Someone needs to say, do you know what, that resonates with me.
Take one of your players you're with now, won't it, as well? You got a player there. Take him to get
That's it.
into the profile, and people look online or with a brand, and other players go, oh, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Takes
to build
time.
belief in you. At time is everything.
So, you know, we are interviewing you here for this role as an agent for the club. Would you like to...
Well, just let me let me see how much of a help you could be
Right,
to
go on
FC Bullard. If we are the I keep saying this. We're like the Harlem Globetrotters of football.
Right.
Big entertainment team. We bring a team, not only just a team, we bring a club to use, whether it's a charity game, whether we've got a charity game on the box in the summer, whether it's a pre-season game or whatever, right? Could you help us, being an agent, if we were short on a few players? That's basically what for FC Bullard, and also brand deals.
Yeah.
Brewdog, Lost Lager. Could you help us as a football club grow? That's what we would want Paul Dalglish in for FC Bullard. That's why we're interviewing you. Basically, we want you to help us out as a football club. What you got for us? Could you help us later on down the
Brewdog
line?
are the sponsors.
Brewdog are the sponsors now.
See, if that was me,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be called Brewdog. It'd be called the Bulldog.
Yeah, but
You know
that's
what I mean? And then it's all about you, Jimmy. You know what I mean?
No, mate,
Do you know what I mean?
all I want to know is from you. We would love. We haven't got an agent, FC Bullard. We would love to have you. And for you, could we call you? Like, could you bring us a player? If we were short on numbers, could you get a phone up and could you get us a player at a game?
Got this young one.
Have you got that much pull?
This young
It could be a retired player. We don't want players as in the game now. And could we use you as an agent? Paul, look, we need a deal. Otherwise, we're not going to survive. Could you put in a few phone calls? Could we use you as that?
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing too strict.
No.
But it's just to have an agent alongside us.
Kenny Dalglish, would you like it?
Yeah, Kenny. Like, if you...
and Paul, are you know, just asking for a friend, but would you be looking for any, would you be looking to represent any other TV presenter type individuals at any stage?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, do you know, and I'm being dead serious, I know we're all joking aside, but as long as you can do it right, we'll take on. We want diversity as well. As long as you can do it right and you can put the attention in.
All right. Well, look, he's in, isn't he? Let's just have him on board. It sounds like he's in.
He's on board as soon as he walks in the door, pal.
All right, we've got an agent then. Paul Dalglish, everyone, our first agent for FC Bullard. Yes!
Welcome aboard, mate.
Welcome aboard. Daggers, me old mate. Who would have fucking thought it? It's a bit weird for me at the start there because it's one of my old mates.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I could have gone off down a lane of stories, but it went on a mad footy chat.
I loved it.
Did you love it?
You know what? He loves it, doesn't he?
Well,
I think he loves that detailed stuff more than you and me.
He's grown up. Well, we've all grown up. He even said in his chat, and he's detailing footy. Yeah, I didn't realise back then how detailed he was, but obviously now him doing his badges, he's coaching, he's managing, just levels. Yeah. Loved every minute of it.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of FC Bullard.
Yeah.
If you want to get in touch with us, do it on the socials,
Which is FC Bullard.
or you can email us if you've got anything big like a PDF you want to send us,
And that's fcbullard@crowdnetwork.co.uk.
beautiful.
There you go. It's very simple.
Yeah, well done, mate. See you next Tuesday.